Yep. Of course, this is unexpected. Every now and then, I always gotta break the chain of command, do something unique and fresh every now and then. Like, you're probably, wow, this is really different and unique, man. For today, I'll be analyzing one of my childhood memory type characters, being known as Tommy Oliver, known as the White Ranger, the Black Ranger, the White Ranger, the Green Ranger, the Red Ranger multiple times, and etc. A lot of people consider him the most legendary Ranger of all times, and for good reason. He has a lot of feats, lore, and interesting things to back him up when it comes to how powerful he is and things like that. When it comes to this universe, it's relatively hard to scale due to the old school special effects and stuff, but I will do my best as I can. So work with me if everything's not perfect and you see something that you might question. You know, I'm willing to work with you. I'm willing to listen, but as long as you hear my point of view and pay attention to what I got to say. So, you know, I'm a 90s kid. I'm about 27 years old at the time of me making this video. He was a big part of my childhood. One common misconception that I don't understand about people when it comes to Power Rangers is that people tend to act like their fighting choreography was really bad or something, and I tend to disagree with them. I mean, I don't know where that came from, but without further ado, let's analyze how strong Tommy Oliver is, his punching power, how much can he lift, and how fast can he travel, what is his fighting speed, etc., and when it comes to things like that. Before I completely dive into the Power Rangers lore and Tommy Oliver in general, like I'm going to show you in this video, throughout this video, I'm going to show you that he has all the morphers throughout the years, even though they supposedly got destroyed. I'm going to show you throughout this video that he basically has all his gear, and just this is a visual representation of how it would look technically, since he has all his morphers and he uses different morphers in the heat of battle, like I'm going to show you in this video. Like, this is actually pretty deadly. One Ranger having all these resources, all these Zords to his disposal that he can summon because that's his standard gear, and he is the Ranger of multiple different things. And we've seen Rangers in the past summon multiple Megazords that are not necessarily their own personal Zords, so one could say he can summon all these Zords, and these are not even all the Zords that I think he can summon. That's some I'm leaving out on purpose because they can't fit in the video, but just to give you an idea of how dangerous Tommy Oliver is. Like most superpowered characters, the Power Rangers get their power from this thing called the Morpher Grid. You know how speedsters from DC get their power from the Speed Force and etc. It's an extraterrestrial energy source similar to that, the Morpher Grid. Because of this factor, this is the reason why a lot of Power Rangers do scale to each other when it comes to, you know, if one Power Ranger can do this, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, one Power Ranger can do something, we can assume that, you know, Tommy Oliver's Power Ranger can do something. They get their power from a similar power source. If anything, he would be a lot greater, considering certain Rangers tend to have little slight edges over one of the other. Trying to figure out where certain Power Rangers rank can be a bit confusing because, you know, it's a kid's show, and with every new season, they always come out with the new stronger than before, you know, type of theme song type of thing, you know, implying that the newer Rangers from the newer seasons will always be above the previous Rangers. But there's a couple issues with this. Throwing it in our face that they're stronger than before. Does this really pertain to Tommy Oliver though? See, here's the thing. Newer Rangers like Wildfire Rangers, he supposedly should be the strongest, but evidently even veteran Rangers are showing him the ropes, implying that the power increase isn't that much. As you can see here, him getting the advantage over a creature that the Wild Force Ranger had a problem with, showing that the older Rangers aren't dead weight. Not to mention that characters like, you know, during this time period, during Forever Red, the Wild Force Ranger was the newest Ranger, right? So some could say, well, he was the strongest one for sure, right? And better than every veteran Ranger? I don't think so, considering what he said about Tommy Oliver here.
I guess it's time to say goodbye again. May the power protect you all. Wow. So that was Tommy. He really is the greatest Ranger.
He's one of the newer ones, showing that this statement about being stronger than before, every new Ranger being stronger than the previous Ranger, is a little weird, considering, like, what are they stronger than by, what, 1% or something? I mean, it doesn't seem like much of a difference in strength and power and etc. Because wouldn't all the crossover events be kind of useless, right? You're probably thinking, well, they ain't nothing without their Morpher. Well, it's implied when you're chosen to be a Power Ranger from the Morphin Grid. Evidently, you get enhanced strength. You may not be as strong as when you're morphed, but you seem to be higher than a normal human still. Because in the new movie, which kind of seemingly takes inspiration from the original series, it was implied that they had superhuman strength.
We're strong. staying these strong.
Now relax. I know it's just a movie and it's a totally different continuity than the original one, but it's just implication that they are still super strong without being morphed. Even in the Mighty Morphin Days, this is based on the Mighty Morphin Days, even though it's just a movie. But don't take this too seriously. But I'm just giving you an example of the reference. Now I know what you are probably thinking. Every season, the Power Rangers seem to fail and you get their morphers destroyed. Well, evidently, somewhere down the continuity, they evidently got their morphers healed, resurrected, restored, because pretty much in every single crossover, like ever, you see all their morphers back better than ever, like in the example of Forever Red. As you can see, he clearly has his power cord and is not destroyed. Same with Tommy Oliver, Red Ranger. He's still the Zero Red Ranger after all these years. Even Turbo was supposedly destroyed, but yet he has his. Showing that, yeah, he still has his morpher, even in the newer episodes. And yes, this has happened more than once. I want to take the statement of each Power Ranger season getting stronger as time goes by. One could say that the older Power Rangers got stronger as time goes by as well because they're relevant during the crossovers and they help out during the crossovers. Especially since the Zeo crystals are implied to, help them get strong over time, but that's none of my business. Power Rangers Megaforce, debatably the strongest Power Rangers in history. Like, they debatably are. Like, yeah, you see this image? He literally had, I'm gonna get back to this guy later. Like, he literally has all the 6 Ranger powers in one. Like, yeah, okay. Tommy Oliver still had his powers and power coins during this battle, showing that he can hang with these Rangers. That means he's relevant to these Rangers. Tommy Oliver accompanied him and a lot of legendary Rangers during the legendary battle recently, more in the recent events. Continuity may be a little wonky, and they never really explain how this happened, but hey, it's a kid's show. What can you do? I mean, it's implied he still has his Morpher here, and it's pretty fine. Even in the newer episodes, he's implied to be faster than I can see. Yeah, he has this, he's the Black Ranger too in the Dino Thunder series, yeah. Implied he still has all his morphers, even in this crossover. You're probably like, well, this is the one that didn't get destroyed. Tommy Oliver is implied to have all of his morphers still, even in the brand newest seasons.
There are odds.
And he's still here. You guys gotta get the point by now. Being able to be of assistance and aid to the newest Rangers Ninja Steel arc. Yeah, he's still around and still better than ever. Enough of that. You guys get the point. He has all his morphs at the point. If you're still thinking this is just convenient for the particular episode, well, how about in the same episode?
I have an idea. White Ranger powers.
This dude literally changed into his different morpher, like the same in the middle of battle. Like, he has all of his morphers throughout all the seasons, guys. Like, this guy's pretty broken. You guys got to be convinced of that by now. Okay, now that you got the idea he has all his morphers and that he is relevant to the other Power Rangers in the saga, because the reason why I was comparing him to other Power Rangers, I want to let you just get your mind right for the scaling and, imply that he can do what they can do or better, if some could say, like, it's relevant. Scaling is really, really relevant and easy when it comes to Power Rangers. A lot of them have the same powers and abilities, weapons, Megazords, energy blasts with their weapons, and shooting blasters, swords, and they all have a lot of similarities. So scaling is relevant in this situation. Just to give you an idea of their speed though, they have ridiculous, insane combat speed when you look into their lore pretty deeply. You remember those minions that Power Rangers always fight, like the villain of the week, and then you have, Rita Repulsa in them. They throw like a little thing down at the planet to literally make them grow to where they have to summon the Megazords, like those type of people. Have you ever realized how fast she threw that junk down from the moon? Like the distance between the moon and the earth, she throws that down. Like, you see what I'm saying? It's implied that they catch it from space that fast. I know this a little wonky, it's a kid's show. Just work with me. Like, if that's really their speed, that's insane. But I'm not gonna, just ride on that feat alone. I'm not one of those people. I know it's kid cartoon logic, I guess, but you got to put that in consideration because it's not really much contradicting this speed or combat speed or reaction speed, fighting speed, and etc. Tommy Oliver actually is a really good fighter, debatably one of the best fighters in Power Rangers because he's one of the few Power Rangers that actually has the fighting skills of the real life fighter David Frank. Like, he's actually a real life fighter. The actor for the Green Ranger, Red Ranger, and the legendary Tommy Oliver. The actor for Tommy Oliver literally has a whole bunch of martial arts, and this is included and implied to be a part of the Power Rangers martial arts skill arsenal as well.
Green Ranger and the White Ranger, red and black, draw all of our powers from a cosmic force. The White Ranger is the most powerful Ranger of all time. Our suits give us stamina, speed, strength, and agility. Saba, a sword that has energy projection, tactical intelligence, and the ability to move on its own free will. Martial arts ability right now, 7 different styles of mixed martial arts. Kicking from Taekwondo to kicks, to GKD, from punching to Wing Chun to Kung Fu. White Ranger knows it all. 7 different styles of mixed martial arts.
In the Green Ranger days, he actually showed her an impressive feat. Considering how strong each Power Ranger is by themselves, I think it's safe to assume that he's at least as fast when it comes to fighting speed, reaction time, physical strength, and etc. to a lot of Rangers, and the skills seem to match up with what David Frank said. He does seem to have superior skills to most normal Rangers, not including the Red Ranger, that is. They had to summon freaking Megazords to fight a They had to summon freaking Megazords to fight a person that didn't even grow in size. When have you ever seen Rangers summon Megazords for a character that's not giant? It's not until they summon the Megazord itself to the point where they finally got the advantage over the Green Ranger Tommy Oliver, man, when he was evil at this time. For the most part, Megazords are generally considered leagues above a normal Ranger. There has been a couple exceptions, which I'm going to get into in a second, but this is just impressive to me that they actually had to pull out a freaking Megazord for a person that doesn't have a Zord of their own, or a person that didn't grow in size themselves. Megazords debatably have nuclear level attack power and city busting, town buildings busting level attack power easily, right? Just by walking.
The only Ranger that seemed to actually be a match for him one-on-one was the Red Ranger himself. These two actually went at it quite a bit. They've actually been consistently shown to be comparable in hand-to-hand skills.
Green Ranger actually has a shield, by the way, that he can do when he plays the flute. Another feat for him as well. Yeah, Tommy Oliver's no joke, but Jason's no joke either, though. Okay, so the biggest question, how strong are actual Power Rangers? Thanks to, comic books they made recently, which is based off the original thing, so some could say this is not canon, it's not canon to the original one, but it's just a remake type of thing. So I think it's fair to assume there's not really much contradicting it in the show either for their strength to be on this level. It's implied that they can run. Of course, they can move fast, and I can see I'll show you more feats of that in the actual show. But then it's implied they can actually lift, like even Red Ranger and Yellow Ranger Trini, like, they can lift boulders that are in the 70-ton range, physical strength-wise. This actually matches up with the consistency of Power Rangers lore. So if Yellow Rangers, we just saw her get beat up by the Green Ranger Tommy Oliver, right? You can assume that Tommy Oliver probably can do this as well, or better, or a lot better, especially the Red Ranger, who he fought one-on-one in strength, did the same thing. They can move so fast they can make dust fly behind them. It's also implied that Yellow Ranger's Trini in the same saga in the comics as well, which is a remake and a modern interpretation of it, or one could say, it moved a boulder that was estimated to be calculated around the 12,000-ton range. So yeah, they can easily be in the 11,000-ton range, or lowballing to be in the 70-ton range when it comes to actual raw strength, lifting power, stuff like that. But of course, their striking power is a lot more based on feats and etc. And the fact that most people in real life, in general, can hit harder than what they can lift. So you can use that to scale as well. Like, you can assume if he can lift 70 tons, he probably can hit with 100+ tons, because most people can hit with double or more of what they can lift based on skill, technique, and etc. And thanks to fictional characters, they more than likely can hit leagues more than that, thanks to the fictional nature of a lot of characters. They can't hardly lift nothing, but they can still punch with ridiculous force. The characters like Batman can only lift like 2,000 pounds, but a punch down like concrete and etc. But to get a better understanding of Tommy Oliver or Power Ranger speed in general, he's consistently shown to be able to move as a blur, moving faster than I can see. As you can see here, blitz, 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 blitz. Yeah, he was the Turbo Ranger too, by the way. Red Turbo Ranger. During his Dino Ranger era, he fought on par with characters like the White Dino Ranger, like in speed, strength, and etc. Another character that can move faster than the eye can see with blitz style combat, like consistently blitzing these other Rangers who have like at least 100-ton or massively hypersonic speed, combat speed anyway. Yeah, he's done it over multiple times too. Like, they are getting blitzed.
Not to mention, I literally just showed you see him do the same thing. Being able to blitz.
Even in the newer episodes, gotta love it.
I'm actually not sure how canon this is to the actual timeline. This Power Rangers movie in 1997.
They was fighting off with this being known as Ivan Ooze.
In this movie, he has been shown to be able to strike hard enough to make characters splat.
Like, further implying his combat strength when it comes to his attack power. No, I wasn't lying about that. These Rangers really make people splat, but I don't know how canon this is to the actual thing, but it would make sense for these characters to be this strong.
Making beings splat.
Dang!
So Power Rangers have their version of Thor? I'm not playing, guys. During Operation Overdrive, don't ask. I've stated many times other Rangers are comparable to Tommy Oliver, and the villains of the week have enough strength too.
Yeah, this guy.
Was able to do this to a whole bunch of concrete pillars with his power. Just to give you an idea of the people they face, they definitely can level buildings in there with their raw strength. Tommy Oliver gets the same power from these Rangers, just like these Rangers get. Morphing grid.
Yet Rangers are able to block attacks from this same being with this level of attack power.
They have physical strength that makes crater in the ground when they take off their weights in Power Rangers. Power Rangers even durable enough to be able to go through freaking concrete pillars.
Not to mention other Rangers that consider Tommy Oliver a legend can lift up cars with relative ease. And I just showed you the boulder feat a while back. Everybody knows this. Tommy Oliver was such a good Ranger. When the Red Ranger had to step down as leader, he took over as being leader of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Of course, he's one of the few people that was able to fight beings like Lord Zed. Lord Zed is stronger than beings like Rita Repulsa. It's even implied the way they talk to him and treat him and etc. And she's a very magical being that creates those ridiculously powered villains of the week that give Power Rangers trouble. Just to give you an idea of how strong some of these magical beings are.
I will now resume command. Prepare the path for my return. I welcome you back, Firebird. Surely you remember me, Goldar, your faithful servant. I surrender myself to serve and obey you only. It is good to have you back, Lord Zed.
For that, I shall restore to you what was once taken away. Lord Zed, I thank you.
How can I be of service to you?
Yeah, based on the way they're treating him, he's confirmed to be stronger. You can just tell. And Rita is the same being that be making these villain of the week monsters that be giving Rangers trouble like heck. It's really hard to scale Lord Zed.
Because he could be magical on what his attack power is, so it's hard to scale his durability and stuff with the attack power feats of Power Rangers and their Zords. White Ranger's actually able to fight on par with him physically for a little bit.
Zed did seem like he was a physical presence, though. Yeah, he fought on par with Lord Zed pretty well, though. You may think Rita Repulsa is a lightweight, but she literally can blast away islands with her blast power magical nature. But I don't know if this scales her durability because of the magical nature. Just because she can blast as hard doesn't mean she can take that much. Just giving you an idea of Lord Zed's power. Man, these Power Ranger villains ain't no joke. She even caused a solar eclipse. Supposedly weaker than Lord Zed, based on what I just showed you a couple seconds ago about how they was treating him and how they was sucking up to him, his excellence and stuff. And then you even have top tier Megazords that the villains use, like Serpentera, that's evidently able to blast away planets. It's considered much stronger than the Megazords, and even above Lord Zed and Rita, who have ridiculous island busting feats on their own. Okay, so far we know that Tommy Oliver Power Rangers in general can move faster than I can see, making them supersonic speeds, at least when it comes to fighting speed, movement speed, and etc. His lifting power is at least in the 70-ton range. He can move 20,000 or 10,000 ton boulders and etc. But what is actually his attack power? I would say it's more than likely he can shatter a few buildings, could shatter possibly a town, could even possibly bust a city without even summoning his Zords, because there's even rare occasions where it's implied that a Power Ranger, not necessarily Tommy Oliver, but Rangers he should be comparable to, have actually taken on things that should be only killable by Megazord standards, because you know how the villain of the week happens. The big monster grows, and then you got to bring the Megazord out to make the Megazord have a fight and stuff like that. Well, Ranger was actually able to defeat a Megazord, or something that only a Megazord should be able to beat, a big, huge mech monster-sized object without even going into a Megazord. Now, I wouldn't necessarily scale this to the standard Megazord. It's just something to consider. I mean, because usually when beings grow this big, they usually have to pull out the Megazords. But yet, this Ranger was actually able to take it out with, without summoning a Megazord, right? So that makes you consider, like, yeah, they probably are in the city level-ish range when it comes to their raw attack power mixed, with their, not necessarily a punching power, but maybe their energy projection at the best with all their weapons and gear when they, form all their blasters together and things like that. Now, As epic as Tommy Oliver is, there is like one ranger that I keep in mind that could possibly on his level or greater. But you know, Tommy still might be greater because of, you know, he's got fan power. You know, fan power. Like he's a fan favorite, so therefore he's more powerful. Like, you know, the writers intently make him stronger, even though he shouldn't be. Type of power. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of power he mean. But he could actually legitly be the strongest one through legit lore too. But there's like one ranger in particular. You might know this if you currently still watch Power Rangers, which you probably don't. I brought this guy up earlier in my video, man. This overpowered piece of crap guy right here, man. This ranger right here, man. Evidently has every single power of all the 6 rangers up to this point. You know, not including Ninja Steel and stuff, because that stuff comes after this season. But yeah, you see it on all these 6 rangers. All of these 6 rangers, he evidently has the power of all of these rangers combined. I mean, if we assume that all of these are in the 70-ton range, wouldn't it be 70 tons times what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Which would easily make him or equal to a 980 tonner. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't think this is an exaggeration. They really meant to have all the power of these guys.
We're the strongest ranger clan?
Yeah, and I think they actually named Silver as the strongest ranger.
Super Mega Gold!
No, I wasn't exaggerating. It's really implied he has all of their abilities in one.
You can even see the silhouettes and him bringing them up in his attack.
Literally has like little versions of avatars of them coming out
During his attack. Like I said, this might be the one ranger that might be above Tommy Oliver.
But who really knows, though? He might have that fan power. Tommy is a fan favorite after all. Guys, that is just about going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed my little run of the Power Ranger Tommy Oliver. I hope you got an idea of how strong he is, how fast he is based on the characters he fights, the history of the Rangers in general, and etc. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Well, you found this informative. If there's something I left out, let me know. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. And I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you check out the playlist for more stuff like this. And check out the description in general, affiliate links. Make sure you post your comments and request stuff. And have conversations and we can debate about stuff. And I'll see you guys next time.